Okay, so sorry about that. Um I've been a bit sick. Um Still a bit under the weather. So forgive me if I sniff. Um Not really anything I can do about that. Um Also, please forgive me if I cry. I'm going to try to get through this without crying. So uh as the stream uh title says, okay, I can't do this without crying. So you'll just have to put up with it. Uh, as the stream title says, R.I.P. my sweet Callie. I had to put her down. Uh, the vet said she was suffering. Um, okay, so I'm gonna start off with why I had to take her to the vet, and then I'm gonna honor her life by telling you her life story. Uh, okay, so this is the very last picture I had of her. I have of her. Um, this was right before I had to put her down. Hi, Sai. Uh, you can see I'm holding up her head because she could barely hold it up. Uh, okay, so what happened was, she, somehow got paralyzed in her hind legs. Uh, I don't know how. Um, Thank you, Hive Sigh. Um, okay, so I was in the bathroom and she started yelling. So I knew something was wrong because she never yelled unless something was wrong. So I went out to the kitchen where she was. Hey, dragon. Thank you. Uh, yeah, she was with me for 17 years. So that's a long time, you know. Anyway, I found her in the kitchen and she had her claws in the chair. Hey, Whist. Um, and so let me just explain. I had put a chair next to the sink because she liked getting up on the sink and drinking out of a bowl that was in the sink that was filled with water. I guess that was better than her bowl full of water down on the ground. Anyway, um, and Um, she had, uh, arthritis for a long time in her hips, so she couldn't jump from the floor to the counter. So I had a chair where she could jump up and then jump up onto the counter from the chair. Well, she had grabbed onto the chair because, I guess she was afraid of falling, and, I wasn't sure why, but anyway, um, so I got her claws out of the chair and, put her down on the floor, and then I realized she wasn't using her hind legs, so I thought maybe she might be a bit weak, um, so I tried feeding her, and that didn't do it. So I took her to the vet and got in like right in the nick of time because they were about to close, and they told me that. And there's something wrong with my cat. There's something wrong with her hind legs. So they're like, well, okay, we'll see her. And they uh they took her back and then they took me to a room and the vet came in to see me and said they were making her comfortable. So then they brought her to me in the room and the vet said, uh basically she said, she's suffering, you need to put her down. And they gave me time to say goodbye. And this picture was taken uh when I was saying goodbye to her. Um and I stayed with her when they gave her the injection, and I was with her when she passed. Um okay. So that was her last day. And now to honor her, I'm going to tell you about her life. Much more important than, how she passed. Much more important. So I got her when she was 3 months old. And with kittens that young, thank you, Native. With kittens that young, they can tell you generally to the month how old they are. It's just like with humans, you know. Uh so anyway, the younger they are, the better they can hone in in on their age. So I got her when she was about 3 months old, and uh, I was going through something then. Uh, I've had depression since I was 19. Excuse me. I'm let's see, 45 now, I believe. Yes, she was whisked. Uh, let's see. Okay. So I turned 46 last month. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that. But anyway, I've had depression since I was 19 and now I'm 46. So I was going through a real hard time when I got her. And she's got me through a lot. Uh and I had a really hard time when my dad died. So she got me through that too, you know. And she wasn't just uh an ESA to me, an emotional support pet, emotional support animal. She wasn't just that to me. She was family to me, you know. Uh, so anyway, I got her when she was 3 months old, and like I said, I was going through a lot. I was trying to remember how old I was when I got her. I must have been about 29 because I had her for 17 years. So yeah, it would have been about when I was 29 that I got her. Uh and she got me through a suicidal depression. I still have depression. It's controlled on medicine, you know. And if you have something like, depression, never be afraid to go on medicine, okay? Nothing wrong with it. Do not be, like, I don't want to go on medication for mental health or anything like that. Don't be afraid because depression is just like diabetes, okay? Uh, and what I mean by that is sometimes you can control diabetes just by diet, exercise, stuff like that, you know, non medicinal stuff. Sometimes. Sometimes you can control depression with uh, cognitive behavioral modification. But sometimes in diabetes, you need insulin. And just like that, sometimes with depression, you need medication. It's a physical illness, just like just like diabetes is a physical illness, you know, uh, mental illness, broadly speaking, and depression is neurotransmitters, which is a fancy way of saying brain chemicals. Yes, Wist. Um, Mental health in general is basically your neurotransmitters or brain chemicals um, have gone haywire for some reason or another. Uh, and medication, what medication does is it brings those brain chemicals back into balance. And so, never be afraid to reach out for help. Uh, so anyway, so I was in Florida when I got her. She was a social stray. Uh, public service announcement. If you want an animal, um, strays or adopting an animal from an animal shelter is the best way to go because you're saving those animals. Now, I realize that if you want an exotic, those are usually only available in specialty pet shops. I understand that. But cats and dogs, usually adopting a stray or from a shelter, those are generally the ways to go. Because you're saving a life, you really are. And so anyway, so I got her in Florida, and then we moved to Alabama together. Um, and then I'm skipping over some things. Uh, so then in 2011, Birmingham had those tornadoes. And that's when I got Tux. He was, or Tuxedo. He's my other cat. He's still with me. Um, but Tux, he was 3 weeks old, and he'd gotten stuck in a window well. I don't know if you know what those are. Um, if you've ever been to a place that has basements. Some places don't have basements because the water table's too high. Uh, but um, some basements will have windows high up and the place will be carved out so that you can have a window there. And those are called window wells. And Tux had fallen into a window well in 2011, right after the tornadoes in Birmingham. Uh, it was, when I say tornadoes, I mean it was a big thing. I mean, the God, um, FEMA, um, FEMA had to come in and clean everything out because it was that bad. There was a rash of tornadoes in 2011 in Birmingham. And it wasn't just Birmingham, it was like from Texas to Alabama, I think all the way into Georgia. So, anyway, so yeah, FEMA had a big cleanup job to do. Um, anyway, and then, from Alabama, I moved to Oregon, and that's where I live now. So Callie was with me through all those moves. You know, she didn't really like Tux to begin with. She was like, I don't know about this kitten, you know. But she got me through a lot, you know. Like I said, she got me through uh, my dad's death. And she was family, you know. And now I just have one key left, and that's Tux. And I think Tux might be lonely because he's never been an only cat. Uh, don't know what to do about that. But anyway, so yeah. Uh, like I said, I've been sick. That's why I haven't been on in a while. Uh, Part of the reason I'm sniffing is because I've been sick. Uh, Part of it's because I had to fight back the tears, but for the most part, um, you can probably tell, uh, I've got a stuffed up nose. And I also have post nasal drip, so that doesn't help much either. Um, So anyway, uh, yeah. Um, so that's Callie's story, and couldn't ask for a sweeter cat. You really couldn't. She she would smurgle on my neck. Uh, Smurgling, it's also called making biscuits. It's if you don't know that term, it's been it's a thing that kittens do to their mothers to get milk. Some kittens, they don't, excuse me, my nose is really, really stuffy. Uh, Smurgling is the term for when kittens need on their mother to get milk, and some cats never outgrow it. Uh, it usually means when cats smurgle on you. Sorry. It usually means they see you as their mother. They've adopted you as their mother. That's usually what it means. Um, so yeah, Tux smurgles too, but he doesn't smurgle on my neck like Callie did. He just smurgles on the blanket. So, yeah, yeah. It's called, smurgling is also called making biscuits or kneading bread. Exactly. Or kneading dough, rather. Kneading dough, not bread. Kneading dough or making biscuits. Those are alternate terms for smurgling. So, anyway, that is her story. And I did miss her, but I couldn't be a bitch and let her suffer just because I wanted to be selfish. So, if your pet's are suffering, don't be selfish. Let them go. Uh, so, yeah. Uh, they asked me if I wanted her ashes, and I said no, that I'd probably cry every time I passed the urn. But I did keep her collar and her name tag. And I do have pictures of her. So anyway, uh like I said, sorry I didn't do this when I said I was, but uh been sick. As you could probably tell, I don't know, you can definitely tell with the sniffing, but you could probably tell with my voice that my nose is like really stuffed up. So anyway, I'm gonna go because I need my mouth to breathe. So until later, thank you for dropping by, and I will see you later. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for stopping by. You have a wonderful rest of your night.